Welcome to another week of Polk Nation. Got a lot to talk about. The Caravan, conference changes, football media day. But I'm going to start with this, Coach. I want to thank you last night.
Yeah.
You finally bought me a beer.
I did. I'm so glad you came to the Caravan.
I didn't realize it was a free beer you were buying me.
Hey, listen, I put a nice tip in the tip jar. So, in theory, I bought you a beer.
Well,
I told you I was going to buy you a beer.
And you also said you would clean up the budget financially, so giving a free beer is good.
That is true.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Caravan. Okay. You've had two.
Been great, yes.
You've had a Kinder and Sulphur.
Yep.
You have Jennings coming up on Tuesday.
Yes, Jennings on Tuesday.
Lake Charles on Thursday.
Exactly right. Mm-hmm.
What were you trying to accomplish, and what do you think you've done?
Well, I'm trying to accomplish a lot of things. Obviously, with COVID, we've all been stuck inside for a year, 18 months. When I got the job, I knew that, you know, we talked about branding since we've been here, and I wanted to get out in the community. I don't think that you can ever truly build a program and build a department sitting behind your desk. And so I wanted to go, and we're going to do it every year, and we wanted to start Cowboy Caravan, where you take football, the president, myself, this year's the two basketballs, and just go out and to the people.
Meet and greet.
Absolutely. And you know, obviously we're pushing season ticket sales.
Sure.
In both of those venues, we've sold a couple $1,000s worth of season tickets, which has been great. But just to go out and let the people, you know, touch and talk to the coaches and to us. And you know, that's how you build this department and rebrand this university and this department. I'm so excited about it. We got cheerleaders, kickers, everyone. It's really cool.
That has been one of the criticisms of the university in the past, is that it did not go out to, especially outside of Lake Charles.
Absolutely.
And you guys are doing 3 of the 4 outside of Lake Charles.
We are.
And trying to embrace the whole Southwest Louisiana.
Well, I've said it all the time, and you were there last night, and I said it, that McNeese State University and the athletic program is Southwest Louisiana, and Southwest Louisiana is McNeese State Athletics and McNeese State University, period. We are one. Southwest Louisiana, it's who we are, and it's what we are. So just to go out and to let all the people around in this community realize that they're important, we need them. The Caravan's been phenomenal. I'm so excited about not only what we're doing, but where we're headed. We do have a change in venue on Saturday, because we were going to go to Bodines, but the construction, I just talked to Chad Poussin, and he called me late last night and said, hey, we have to switch, so we're going to go to Southwest Beverage.
That's for Thursday night.
On Thursday night, and at 3860 Broad Street, but it's going to be phenomenal. We'll have a couple hundred people there.
Where are you in Jennings?
We are at the Gator Chateau. And both of them are from 6 to 8. So Tuesday, Gator Chateau, 6 to 8, Jennings. And then in Lake Charles, we'll be at Southwest Beverage at 3860 Broad Street, 6 to 8. We got free food, free beer.
You're buying.
And I'm buying. Are you going to come again? Come on.
I don't think so. One free beer is one Heath Schroyer sales job is enough for me.
You're unreal. I am glad you wore that shirt again.
That's great. That's great.
That shirt, I'm telling you, we got to get you. We got to keep you in like those colors. You look good, man.
I'm a good-looking guy.
Proud of you.
You throw me off. You do that just to throw me off. All right, real quick. Football media day yesterday at the Southland. To me, a bit disappointing not being here in Lake Charles. Disappointing in the fact that they had talked about rebranding, redoing all these things and it was the same old, same old. What were your thoughts on it? Do you have really any on it?
It was frustrating to me because I think that Football Media Day should have been here. No matter what it would have cost the league, there was opportunities, I think, to be here, and we weren't. But it is what it is. But yeah, it's frustrating. It was a little bit disappointing. You know, talking to Coach Wilson, the majority of the coaches thought we should have had it here. You know, you look at where we are in the league right now, we have the best place to host it. You know, we have 4 schools in the state in Louisiana playing football. We have the casinos here. We have. I mean, it's a great
You're in the
place
middle of
to
the
come.
state. You're in the middle of the conference.
Absolutely. But, you know, it is what it is, and I think Coach did a great job, and we're looking forward to the fall season.
It was an interesting, my take on it was 5 media members showing up. You have 6 football coaches with 5 media members showing up. That should be the disappointing thing, and say, I know a lot more would have come if they came here. That's what I've been told.
Well, yeah, I mean, you think about it, you know, if you're at Nichols and Northwestern and all those places, I mean, it's a long haul to get there. Where if you're here, centrally located, you're right. You probably have more media people here.
When we come back on Poke Nation, we'll talk to Kelsey Curry,
Awesome.
newly married and football operations director, I guess. Is that her title?
Big job.
That is a tough job. Has to deal with Coach Wilson. Has to deal with Heath Schroyer. Wonder if he ever got her a beer. It'll be a free one if he did. We'll be right back on Poke Nation after this.
Welcome back to Poke Nation. It's a pleasure to have now Kelsey Curry,
Yes, sir.
newlywed.
Yes.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
That is
Thank
awesome.
you.
Your husband's an unbelievable guy.
Thank
We're going to get
you.
to talk about him too, because we got to give him a shout out. But you're the director of operations for football.
Yes, sir.
That is a big job. Okay.
Yes.
Managing Coach Wilson is a big job. Just kidding. But talk to Poke Nation about, number one, how you got here and your background,
Yeah.
and you know, and all the things that make this job so unique that you do so well.
Yeah, thank you. No problem. Yeah, so I'm from upstate New York, Johnson City. I was born and raised there in a small town. I went to a Division III college, Alfred State. That's where I started my football journey. I was a equipment manager my senior year in college. Transitioned out of a softball player and wanted to get into football, so I started as an equipment manager. Was there for about a year and a half until I got hired at my first school at Buena Vista in Iowa. So I was there 2.5 years as a football operations and an admissions counselor, freshman admissions. And then I was there a couple years, and then I got hired by Coach Wilson in 2020, February of 2020, so I got here right before COVID.
Fun times.
Yes,
right.
my first Division I job has been with Coach Wilson. It's been fantastic, everything I ever, hoped and imagined it would be. COVID was tough, just like for everybody else.
For sure.
New staff. I was new. We had a whole new team at that point.
Right.
So that was challenging, but we had gotten through it. And, then the hurricanes came. The hurricanes were tough for us. The kids stuck it out with us. But it's been tough, and we're ready to go. Kids had a fantastic offseason. The summer has been wonderful. They've had more PRs than the strength staff really has ever seen. So we're so excited about that. We have some wonderful transfers coming in. So we're excited to get the fall season rolling here in a couple weeks.
Great. Okay, so now we talked about it.
Yes.
So you're a newlywed.
Yes, sir.
So talk about how you met your husband.
Yes.
What does he do? This is really interesting. Poke Nation's going to love it. But talk about all that.
Yes. So I had met my husband at Alfred State College. So he was our defensive line coach. After I graduated college, I stayed to work for the team. I did football operations. I did a little academics as well. So it's at that time that I met him. So we were there together for that amount of time. We moved to Iowa together. He was the defensive line coach at the school that we had worked at as well. And then when Coach Wilson hired me, we had moved to Lake Charles. He said, I'll get out of coaching right now, so you can go and chase your dream and get into ops. So we had moved here. He had gotten hired at St. Louis, so he was at St. Louis Catholic for a full year as a defensive coordinator. Just recently, maybe 5 or 6 months back, got hired at Lake Charles Prep. So now he is a defensive line coach at Lake Charles Prep, and he also coaches or teaches a Quest class as well.
That's awesome. So football is, so how many games do you watch on a Saturday and a Sunday during football season?
Every game that I can watch. On the bus before our game, on the way home.
I love it. That's
and,
so cool.
trying to catch his games on Friday.
That's awesome.
So it's a little challenge, but it's so exciting to have, my other half in football as well. To both do something that we both, enjoy so much has been a huge part of our family.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was it like last year trying to come up with and set new rules for spring and really organize an entire season in, 6 weeks you had to put it together? And then to come out and first game decide whether you're going to play or not because of the weather. Something you never have. What are some of those decisions that go into that?
Yeah, it was challenging. Coming off of the fall, it was just such a disappointment that we didn't play, that the kids didn't get to play. And admin had done a wonderful job getting us back. So we had gotten back to do a couple of workouts in November, December. We gave them a little break off for Christmas. Once admin gave us the yes, we're going full speed in the spring, we had started planning in December for our first game to come late to mid-February. And we had known at that point, too, it's probably going to be cold, which is something that our players aren't used to. So that there was a lot going into that. We had to say, we had to order cold gear. We had to get them, hats, gloves.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's something they're not used to. And in Texas at that time of the year, it can get 10, 20, 30 degrees. So we had thought kind of outside the box. We had rented sideline heaters, brought the sideline heaters with us to the first game. So a couple things that we weren't used to, coaches weren't used to. But planning travel was a little bit difficult at that time. And then at that time, we also switched to same-day travel.
Yeah.
Which is not something that everybody is used to, that, coach isn't used to. But the kids had adapted well. The players, the coaches had adapted well. It was challenging, but we had gotten through it, and we couldn't have been happier to play in the spring.
And you had to almost double up because you had to have social distancing on buses,
Yes.
social distancing when you did have hotels, for meals and that. How difficult was that?
Yeah, it was challenging. We had another bus, so we had 3 buses. We almost went to 4, but we worked it out with 3.
Were you on the bus that got stuck?
Yes. So that's a whole nother story. But yes, I did. We had got stuck coming out of Tarleton, just coming out of the, just pulling out. We had got stuck on the road. The bus just stopped. We got stuck for an hour. So by the time we left Tarleton, it was probably 12:30.
Now, being from upstate New York, you're used to getting stuck in snow.
Sir. Mm-hmm.
Probably never expected that when you came down here, though, especially the opening week.
I did not. And those types of things you don't really plan for. But yeah, I didn't expect that. I was expecting the cold, so it was a little bit easier for me to plan for the cold, to kind of get the kids through it as well, and just to talk them through, like, hey, just because it's cold, that doesn't change how you play. We play exactly the same way. We'll accommodate what we need to, but the cold isn't going to stop us. And, we kind of tell them, too, Tarleton's playing in the same weather.
When we come back on Poke Nation, we'll talk to Kelsey about the upcoming season and what some of her jobs and challenges are in the fall, right after this on Poke Nation. To prepare from one season to the other. And secondly is, what are some of the challenges of playing the same team twice?
Yeah, I think there's a few challenges coming into the fall. One thing that we were all concerned of was coming off of the spring. It was how much time do we give them off? Do we bring them back right away? So that was something that we had to work through with strength conditioning. We gave them about a month off after the spring just to let them kind of recover a little bit. We brought them back early June, gave them a week off for July 4th, gave them this week off. So they're back, strong, good to go. Still, kind of a little nervous. Hey, are they ready? Are we behind? Are we ahead? So on the strength and conditioning side is a little bit of a concern for us. But we think that Coach Bunting and his staff has done just a wonderful job with our players. So we're excited, and we'll think they'll be ready. Planning for the fall was a little bit different. We still have some buildings that aren't open that we would normally use. The lights on the field, so we're trying to change our practice times around. But there's nothing that we can't overcome, we can't fix. Just right now, we'll have the kids back in a week. We'll have 2 weeks to prepare before school starts. Playing the same team twice, Coach Wilson and I talk about this all the time. The coordinators talk about this all the time is, you prepare for a team, you watch their film from the last game, you have everything you need. But when you play them the second time, are they going to change everything that they've already done? Are we going to change everything that we've already done? So it's not something that we're really used to, or the players are used to. But we're excited to do that. We think it may have an advantage to us as well. We may have an advantage for playing in the spring. We may not. We're not too sure, but we're excited to get going. The kids are excited, and we got everybody planned, looked already from the first game to the last, so we're prepared.
You do the operations, so you do all the planning.
Yes.
What's the difference between planning for a night game season and a day game season? Because when are you getting the kids up? When are you feeding them? All these things have to kind of change. What are some of the disadvantages and advantages to playing at noon?
Yeah, so it's different for us. Coach is used to playing at night, which drastically changes their wake-up schedule when we feed them. We always like to feed them twice before the game. We like to feed them breakfast, and then we like to feed them pre-game meal. The problem with playing at 12 is we like to feed them 4 hours before the game. So we eat at 8. So do we do brunch at 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
Do we do breakfast a little bit earlier, get them up a little bit earlier? We try to keep them, in bed as long as we can. We have them up probably at 7. We'll have team meeting 7:30. We'll have brunch at 8 and bring them right to the stadium. When we're on the road, it's a little bit better, especially when we're playing at night. So on the road, we'll do breakfast at 8. We'll do, if we're playing at 2, we'll do pregame meal at 10. We'll have time for meetings, position meetings, special teams, and all those types of things. So it is a lot different. And we have scattered game times. So we play at home every time at noon, but on the road we have a 3 o'clock game, 4 o'clock game, 6 o'clock game. So it's not too consistent for the players, but they're great with accommodating. And coach is really great too with being flexible with his. Coach likes his stuff a certain way, so I try to do as much as I can to accommodate him, but also playing around the game times that we have.
So and Jim alluded to this, but I really want to get into this before this segment closes. When you run the basketball or the football operation, so talk about your daily schedule, your weekly schedule. Tell exactly, obviously, game days and things, but it's a 365-day-a-year job.
Yes.
So talk to Polk Nation exactly are all your duties and your job description and what it is that you do.
Yeah, so I could talk for probably 15 more segments. But this particular time of the year is a little bit crazy. All of our coaches are just back in the office. They have, a couple weeks off in the summer. I came back a little bit early just to kind of get going. So normally in the mornings, I meet with Coach around 7:30, just to say, this is what we have today, this is what you have today, this is what the players have today, just so he's aware of everything that's going on. For me, we'll do staff at 8, and then I kind of break off a little bit from the staff and just do what I need to do. So right now, everything that we have going on is fall camp is planned and ready to go. I'm just, changing some minor details. Fall travel. Hotels are done, buses are done, food's done, everything's done and ready to go. Just kind of buffering and changing up the details as well. Camp this Saturday. We have our last chance camp at McNeese, so I'm working on that. We are already planning for Pro Day in April. About April we'll do Pro Day, so I'm looking forward to that. We're also planning winter workouts already.
Right.
So we're planning on that just to see when we're done, kind of depending on our playoff schedule, championship schedule, everything like that. And just kind of other minor things that we have, behind the scenes, but it never really stops.
It's never really over.
No. Already planning our 2022 kids.
Absolutely.
And housing and admissions and all that type of stuff. So I have my hand in really a lot of things. The coaches are helpful too because I'm really the only one that does the ops here.
Right. Well, it's so neat because running a football operation at this level, it's a huge job. And the ability to be organized and to plan ahead, like you talked about 1 and 2 years ahead, it's everything. And I'm so glad you're here. You do such a great job.
Thank you.
And people have no idea all that goes into it. They see the finished product, right? They come out on Saturdays and but there was a lot of stuff for years that had to be planned for that, and it's been phenomenal.
I appreciate it.
You didn't get to go to the water park today?
I did a little bit. I dropped off breakfast to the water park farm this morning, ran back here, doing Polk Nation. Got a couple things I got to do for camp this weekend, and I'm going to run back to the water park, but don't have too much time for fun and games, unfortunately.
Well, we'll give you some time the rest of the way. Thank you for coming on. When we come back, we'll get Coach's final thoughts after this on Polk Nation. Oh, we're back. And that was interesting because a lot of things going on behind the scenes that you don't know about. And I think just getting on the field last year from an operation standpoint was amazing for her.
Think about it from her perspective. This was her first year in Division I, and she gets thrown all that. She is phenomenal. She really is. She does an unbelievable job. She has a very, very bright future. We're very fortunate and lucky to have her. Coach Wilson loves her. We love her in administration. And it's just that, that person, that facilitator, that just organizes, the entire, football operations.
That's
it's a big job. And the key to that position is the ability to truly work hand in hand with the head coach.
Oh, yeah.
And to
have his trust.
Absolutely. And they have a great relationship, and she does a great job of communicating a lot of things. You're talking about, over 100 people, moving all in one direction, from buses and, from meals to, she's...
and the changes on the fly you had to do last year.
No doubt about it. She's been great.
All right. Let's get into this fun stuff.
Uh-oh.
Another week. Another rumor about changes in landscape in college sports. The big bombshell, Texas, Oklahoma, thinking about leaving the Big 12, which has 10 teams, for the SEC.
Right.
not the Big Ten, which has 14 teams. So you do the math. But there's some interest from the SEC. Obviously, there's a lot of money, especially in Texas.
No doubt.
When you see that, and then you hear the rumors around, well, ULL might be shifting, other schools want to pop into the Big 12, kind of says, hey, we got to get our ducks in a row for you guys, doesn't it?
Well, I think that obviously, when you see Texas and Oklahoma looking to make a move that can better themselves, I think that if you're an administration, you're an athletic director at any of the 350 Division I schools, let alone the ones that play football, if you're not keeping a pulse and reading the tea leaves, you're not doing your job. And I think that, on a daily, weekly basis, I'm always, talking to people, listening, reading, trying to figure out the landscape. But it is shifting, and it's shifting fast.
It is going fast, and that's kind of the point is just, I try to tell people, just because you're in a conference or move to a conference, just because Sam Houston went to the WAC last year, doesn't mean they're going to be in the WAC in 3 years.
Oh, no, for sure.
You have no idea what's going to be.
It is beyond fluid. I mean, it's college athletics right now is extremely fluid. I do not see that changing.
No.
Because, as you and I talked about off air, is, these TV contracts are always going to come up. And when those things come up and they get renegotiated, it's just, when you want to find out what's going on, what's the old saying? You always follow the money.
Yeah, follow the money.
You think about Texas and Oklahoma truly having some real conversations. By the time this airs, there could already be a decision.
They could already be in it.
Absolutely.
And then you have the openings and the ripple effect.
Right.
I look at maps. UL could go to the American. UL could go to the Big 12. It doesn't make a ridiculous amount of sense. And if they do, who goes into the Sun Belt? Are you an option to the Sun Belt? What does the Sun Belt do? Where do these things go? I mean, you have to make yourself look good for people. It's almost like you're on a dating circuit. You want to look as good as you can. Well, maybe that's why you're getting a tan.
No, I'm outside more. It's actually good to take walks outside and get some sun, just so you know. But no, I do think, and it's part of the job of rebranding. We've talked about it, of branding McNeese Athletics, to a bigger scope of people. And we have a chance to be great. There's no question in my mind the best days of McNeese Athletics are right now and ahead of us. We have a chance to be great. The hurricanes we've been through, all the adversity has only made us stronger and been able to reinvest in what it is we do.
You like preaching, don't you?
I don't know. I believe in this place, and I believe in Southwest Louisiana.
Thanks. Listen.